I'm back. Rhodes for the Matrixx and Rhodes show. Okay, we're going to talk about Gina Carano and Patricia Arquette. Now, I'm not going to be some hypocrite and act like at one time I wasn't a pretty big Patricia Arquette fan. That was back in the day. She's behind me on my wall right now in this True Romance canvas picture I've got up. Her and Christian Slater. I love that movie, a Tony Scott movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. She starred in it, of course, as Alabama. And I was a big fan back in the day when she was younger. But like a lot of Hollywood elites, she has become a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, political nightmare. I mean, virtue signaling continuously, always talking politics, always trying to throw her Hollywood weight around, trying to make you feel like you are lesser than because your politics don't align with hers. Well, somebody else noticed this as well, and that's Gina Carano. Gina Carano, it seems, decided to step out there and check Patricia Arquette, and it's a wonderful thing. Of course, Gina, Terror on the Prairie just premiered the other day. I have seen it. In fact, I guess I should do a review for it, but yeah, I watched it the other day, and it was damn good. It was a Western. I liked it a lot. This was her post-Mandalorian gig. As we know, she was let go by Disney because they don't want conservatives working for them, plain and simple. You've got to be a ultra-leftist liberal SJW to be employed at Lucasfilm, at Disney, at the MCU. It's part of what they do. It's continuous identity politics, shit show circle jerk over there. Plain and simple. So, let's get into this. This is from the Daily Wire because Patricia Arquette decided to run her mouth, and Gina Carano checked her in true MMA-like fashion, only this time using words. Gina Carano slams Patricia Arquette on Twitter for highlighting the arrogance of the Hollywood elite. Man, in the Hollywood elite, it's a who's who of assholes. Gina Carano is willing to stand up for what she believes in. This time, the Terror on the Prairie star went head-to-head with actress Patricia Arquette on Twitter. It all started when Carano shared the link she did to an interview with Fox News. I read that. It's a very good interview. Quote, Gina Carano on Disney firing from The Mandalorian. I think if there's any time to stand up for something, it's when you feel like your country is in massive danger of losing our constitutional rights, she tweeted along with a link to the article. Quote, they don't know the Constitution. If it smacked them in the face, activist celebrity Arquette retorted, seemingly referencing the Fox News audience. Instead of backing down or ignoring the slight, Gina Carano clapped back on behalf of conservatives. Quote, insinuating, quote, they are too stupid to understand their constitutional rights, question mark. That, quote, team, who is half or now more of the country's citizens, shouldn't be demonized because they don't agree with your politics. Great example of the arrogance of the Hollywood elite. Absolutely. Once again, I will tell you, I am still banging the drum for the James Woods Gina Carano buddy flick. I think that will be great if it could ever happen. Quote, I'm sharing my experience. The actress continued in a follow-up tweet, something another woman in this industry I would think could relate to on multiple levels had you seen past the words Fox News and looked a little deeper. I'll share it with you if you'd like. Maybe a conversation would help. Like the article says, Carano said she's a huge Arquette fan and that, quote, True Romance is her favorite. Wow, okay, I didn't know that. In the interview, Carano discussed the experience of being cut by Disney, allegedly over social media posts that some deemed offensive. The Daily Wire announced a partnership with the actress 2 days after she was canceled from The Mandalorian in February of 2021. And look, there was a lot to go with that. She was going to have another series that she was going to be involved with. But she was brave, stunning, and courageous. Truly, not in the way these social justice warriors are. She stood up and she went against the grain. We need a lot more of that out of people that have been involved in TV shows and in movies these days. Quote, when I was canceled, I felt like everything was turned against me. Everything I loved was just against me. I was fighting for my name, which is ridiculous that she had to go through this. All because she leaned right politically. Think about that a minute. How stupid is that? Carano told Fox News, I just felt like everything was stripped from me. The former MMA fighter went on to call cancel culture, quote, extremely dangerous, and said not evenly applied to everyone. Of course not. Of course not. Lucasfilm themselves is attacking Star Wars fans right now. It's unbelievable. Quote, when a company's preaching about being inclusive to all people, and they're not, they're just telling one side of the story, and they're alienating half, if not more, of the country, and I think we've run into a big problem. I'm going to tell you, it's more than half, because I think a lot of people had a hard lesson slapped directly in their face with Joe Biden. I mean, they are seeing it. All of this shit tried to roll into the schools, the wokeness, all this LGBTQ, elemental P plus crap shoved into schools, trying to get to the kids, gas prices, inflation, border crisis. I mean, shit, the list goes on and on. I mean, look, I got to be honest. I thought Joe Biden was going to be a massive fuck-up and a massive failure. Even I didn't see it failing on this level and this fast. I mean, it's a dumpster fire rolling downhill on a tire fire every single solitary day. And the backup plan is Kamala. I mean, my God. Kamala, who gives a shit? So, look, I applaud Gina Carano, of course. She's done a lot of stuff around Geeks and Gamers. And, of course, Fan Expo in Orlando, hanging out with Drunk quite a bit. And it's really nice to see how down-to-earth she is, considering where she's been. You know, superstar MMA fighter, star of a Star Wars series, and willing to sit down and communicate, talk back and forth with just us, just guys, just the pieces of the fandom menace. You know, we started this movement, and it's good to see that it has been recognized by somebody positively in the business instead of somebody like J.J. Abrams running their fucking mouth. I mean, you know, and her checking Patricia Arquette, it's wonderful. I mean, that sucks for me to see somebody like Arquette, and I'm sure for Gina too. She was one of my favorite actresses. I'm a huge True Romance fan. There it is, right behind me. One of my favorite movies. I call it my favorite romance of all time, literally. And I understand it's an action movie. It's a comedy. I mean, my God, Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper in that movie is one of the greatest scenes in the history of all films anywhere. And Patricia Arquette was great. I mean, that scene with James Gandolfini and her will always be historic. She was unbelievable in that movie. But she gets to Hollywood, you know, all these people running their mouth about the police while they're living behind gates, gated communities with private security. I mean, come on. I mean, it's ridiculous how out of tune Hollywood has become with the consumer. Us. We funded these shit shows. True Romance, right? Man, some of these actors and actresses need to go back and think about what things were like before they became stars. A little humbling would do them good, I think. And the sad part is there are conservatives in Hollywood, and they're in hiding. Think about that a minute. They're in hiding because their careers would be a wrap. I mean, there's only one Daily Wire out there right now. Think about that. That's nuts. It's absolutely ludicrous. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now.